Our attention has been drawn to the chaos, violence, looting, and disruption of transport in the country today, ostensibly to protest high fuel prices. Even though our Constitution protects the right to demonstrate and picket, it is quite unfortunate that today's protests have once again been hijacked by political actors for political ends. Whereas we take cognizance of the fact that fuel prices have risen significantly as a result of ongoing global political crisis, looting, violence, blocking roads, and vandalizing public and private property can in no way bring down the oil prices. If anything, the disruption of transport and closure of business can only worsen the situation. The government, led by the National Treasury and the Ministries of Energy and Transport, are taking steps to engage with transport stakeholders to explore the ways of addressing price increases, and we are confident that the talks will bear fruit. We are, however, concerned that although most parts of Kenya were peaceful, criminal elements in some parts have been mobilized and deployed by rogue politicians to target government projects, property, personal property, pro-government, and also property of pro-government leaders. The looting of Getia supermarkets owned by a member of parliament who supports government, the burning down of UDA offices in Wote in Makueni County, and the torching of 2 trucks at the site of Rironi Mau Summit flagship project are not coincidence, but a calculated move to spread fear and intimidate government supporters and innocent public servants. Coupled with the recent violent attacks on Ms. Rachel Wandeto, who passed on this morning, we are witnessing a clear scheme where a section of political class is making incendiary statements to fund intolerance and ethnic bigotry and organizing gangs to spread terror, sabotage government projects, and profile and intimidate those of different political opinion, especially those who support government. We wish to reassure the country that the government will do everything in its powers to protect lives and property, and at no time would lawlessness be allowed to take root in any part of our country. We will intensify our fight against organized crime and its sponsors who are hell-bent on propagating anarchy. The full force of law will be brought to bear on the organizers of today's violence and wanton destruction of property. In fact, it is about 348 of them have already, perpetrators have already been arrested. It is quite unfortunate also that 4 Kenyans in today's violence, which also saw more than 30 people, it's unfortunate that we lost 4 Kenyans in today's violence, which also saw more than 30 people injured. It is very regrettable that there are politicians in this country who measure the success of opposition to the government by the number of innocent lives lost in the demonstrations they organize. This is the lowest form of politics and the most wicked manifestations of self-interest. To the leaders who have been profiling Kenyans of different political opinion and calling them traitors, we shall hold you personally responsible for the lives lost and property destroyed as a result of your statements. You will be answerable now and in the future. I commend Kenyans who went about their business in peace, and actually, largely in most parts of the country, Kenyans went about their business in peace, but also there are some public transport owners who protested in peace by just keeping off the transport system without really interrupting other people's lives. And we regret, in some cases, disruption of transport and businesses that have been looted, including a supermarket in Naivasha, which, as by the time we were coming here, was still facing invasion by goons. Let us remain calm as Kenyans, as relevant government agencies address the issue of fuel prices. To those traveling, our security agencies are under instructions to ensure our safety. And I did it on the floor of the Senate. But you should give us credit that no life was lost during that time, during that agitation, that we never organized a protest. We never agitated for Matatu sector to stop transport. In fact, I dare say that the leaders of Matatu industry at that point in time never protested against the government. So the question you should be asking yourself, why did they feel that it was okay to understand President Uhuru Kenyatta, but when it is President William Ruto, they should go to the streets? You should ask yourself, why did they not stop their vehicles just less than 4 years ago? And why is it that in the administration of President William Ruto, they have stopped their vehicles from coming to the streets? There must be something. There must be a certain level of profiling that applies to William Ruto that does not apply to President Uhuru Kenyatta. And the guess is as good as, your guess is as good as mine. If you will give us credit for those who were opposed to the administration that time, you must give us credit for using constitutional means and using the floor of the House and giving alternative suggestions to how to handle the fuel crisis. We never organized one protest, no life was lost, no supermarket was looted, no person was targeted to be killed as a result of the higher fuel prices less than 5 years ago. So I am very proud of my record and the statements I made in the Senate just about 5 years ago. And I'm very proud of how President William Ruto handled his opposition to how government was running its affairs in the last 5 years. I wish current opposition would emulate him instead of organizing violence and so forth. And I am just asking the most simple thing. Please, the transport sector, the way you understood President Uhuru Kenyatta and never went on strike just less than 5 years ago, that is the same way you should understand President William Ruto because he's in office. Number two is that how can we ensure that in future protests do not lead to loss of life? It's just by ensuring that protests are protests. They are not criminal activities, acts of crime, looting, robbing people of their property, burning of property. As long as we stop, and I see you in the media, reporting that protesters, I saw one today, protesters in Naivasha burned 2 vehicles. Those are not protesters. Protests is constitutional. Protest is...
Nikiripotia Kamachu TV, itaripota 001 wa Chumbi Kamachu.